Welcome to Officiating Wrestling by the Book. This module is on definition of control and is part of our series of training on the concept of control. Let's start with the NFHS definition of control. Rule 5-6-1 provides that definition. Control occurs when an individual has gained restraining power over an opponent. A wrestler who has control of an opponent is in a position of advantage. The formula for control is this: control equals restraining power plus position of advantage. That's right out of Rule 5-6-1. We can also look to the referee's manual, which is part of the case book on page 82, where it tells us control is felt as well as observed. So this is what the NFHS teaches us about the definition of control. Let's define some of these key terms. Let's start with restraining power. If you look in the dictionary under the word restrain, it defines it as to limit or hamper the activity. The guiding question you can ask yourself is this: if I ask the wrestler to pick any direction he chooses and move 4 feet that way in the next 2 seconds, could he do it? If you believe that he couldn't, then that means he's being restrained. Next term is position of advantage. If we look up the word advantage in the dictionary, it will tell us that it's a position of superiority. And the guiding question you can ask yourself is just a simple one: who has the better position? It's really that simple. Either no one has a position of superiority, they're equal, or one person has it over the other. They can't both have the position of advantage. Only one can have it, if any has it at all. So let's take a simple principle that applies when you're looking at the control situation in a wrestling match. And that principle is this: wrestlers remain in the same control positions they started in until the official declares it that it has changed. How does he declare that it's changed? Well, the official declares a change by awarding either a takedown, where someone is gaining control, or number 2, an escape, where the person who had control now has lost the control, or 3, a reversal, where the control changes from one person to the other. The stoppage of wrestling action does not cause the change. So merely the fact that the wrestlers went out of bounds, the time expired, somebody needed injury or blood time, none of those things causes the control situation to change. Now let's apply that principle. Once a wrestler has control, he only loses it when either of the following 2 things occur. The first one is that he relinquishes both the advantage and the restraining power. Has to relinquish both. The second instance where the control can be lost would be that the opponent gains both the advantage and the restraining power, regardless of whether or not the person who originally had control retained some element of restraining power. If the opponent has gained both advantage and restraining power, then that wrestler has taken the control away from him. And it's really that simple.
So when Chris and I are neutral like this, let's say in starting position, start of a match, Am I exercising any restraining power on him? If we say, Chris, go 4 feet any direction you want in the next 2 seconds, can you do it? Yeah, I can't.
Maybe not in 2 seconds.
4 feet's not very far. This is 4 feet right there. So now, how about now? What do you think? Could he go 4 feet in any direction he wants to in the next couple of seconds? I bet he could. He'd do the same to me, right? Or I can just disengage, right? Okay. How about now? Can he go anywhere he wants in the next couple of seconds? No. Wouldn't you love to have this on your opponent? Started that first match on Friday morning. You get right in here on that guy. Boom. Or inside grip or something. Right? Try to go anywhere you want now. I'll give you 10 seconds. Okay. This is restraining power. Here's the ultimate example of it, right? I'll give you a minute. Go wherever you want. 2 feet away, 1 foot away. Right? So that's restraining power. He's just not free to move wherever he wants. And again, I just sort of give you that acid test question. Could he go 3 or 4 feet in any direction? His choice, wherever he wants to go. In the next couple seconds? He can't. That means he's tangled up. Like, get down flat on your belly, right? How about here? You think he can go anywhere he wants in the next couple seconds? No. He's going to have trouble just getting up on his knees, right? So, that's restraining power. So, second thing in our formula, position of advantage. Position of advantage, common sense. It means the guy that has the better position. That's all it means. Okay? And that's just common sense. So, on your feet again. When we're standing like this, does anyone have an advantage over the other? Okay? Get down on your knees. In this position, does someone have a better position than the other? Who does?
You do.
Me. And how do we know I have the better position? One way is to ask yourself the question, if we're going to start the sudden victory, where the winner goes to state, the loser's out, first guy to score wins, which position do you want? Mine. Because we're going to go, guy with the first takedown wins, and we're starting from here. I'm going to get the takedown instantaneously. Okay, so we're just looking and using common sense. Does he have the better position? Okay, it's just that simple. Okay, so that's your formula. Restraining power plus position advantage. I want you to memorize this formula. I want you to memorize these terms. Because if you use these terms, you won't go wrong. Where you will go wrong is when you say, well, control is when he covers the hips, or he steps over the leg, or he gets hip to hip. Those may be examples. That's not the definition. Because we need to make sure that whatever we declare as control fits this definition, which comes right out of our rule book. Okay?